All right, welcome back to the Ready Football Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Brennan.
I'm Logan. We've been gone for a little bit, so
we're just gonna ignore the fact this is our fourth take on this now.
I think it's higher, but yeah, we'll say that. So yeah, lot of stuff happened in football.
Had rivalry weekend
over the past couple weeks. Yeah, there was a disagreement we talked about before we realized it was messing up. So we think Ashton Jeanty should be leading the Heisman race, but from what I am seeing, he is not. Travis Hunter is. He had 1 tackle, 1 interception on defense this past game. Okay, cool. Like, that's not much. Whatever. Cool. Good job on the pick. He did also have, 10 receptions for, what did I say? 116 and 3 touchdowns.
Something like that, yeah.
So, he balled out on offense. Only had 1 tackle, 1 interception. He plays a lot of snaps, and I feel like that's part of the reason why everyone is just hyping him up. Well, most teams in the NFL will not allow him to play both sides. So he needs to pick a side.
And he said he's going to go to the combine as a two-way player.
And I get that. That would make you more versatile. But let's be honest. As soon as a team drafts him, he's going to have to pick one side. A team is not going to let him play that many snaps and put his health in risk when it comes to those contracts.
And Ashton Jeanty is doing more on less snaps.
Yes.
I mean, you go back and look at his stats against the last 3 running back Heisman winners.
I'm pretty sure he blew them out week 6, week 7. So...
Yep.
Georgia,
8 overtimes with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they come out of a quote-unquote tough one.
Winning in the SEC is a tough life, man.
Georgia Tech's not even in the SEC.
I know. It's a thing Lane Kiffin put out on Twitter, and Kirby Smart had said a week or 2 ago that winning in the SEC is hard, or playing in the SEC is hard, or something like that.
You guys get cakewalks at the end of the season. That should have been a cakewalk for Georgia.
They go to 8 overtimes. Keep in mind the NCAA record for overtimes is 9.
Wowzy.
And that was Illinois Penn State a couple years ago in a game that ended 18-20.
Wowzy.
Yeah.
Michigan went into Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you take this one.
If we talk about rivalry week, I guess we got to talk about the elephant in the room. That, I might have to change my national championship pick now. I'm a little less confident in that, especially given the fact, too, that now the only potential to see Oregon, Ohio State on a neutral field is in the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's going to happen. Looking at the playoff picture, we're on different brackets now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless they're either in the same bracket or they end up meeting in the national championship.
In the semi.
Okay, yeah.
Because in order for that to happen, I guess we can talk about the playoff picture real quick. It won't take long. Updated, you got, of course, the Oregon Ducks at 1, Texas Longhorns at 2, Miami at 3, Boise State at 4, Ohio State at 5, Penn State at 6, Notre Dame at 7, Georgia at 8, Tennessee at 9, SMU at 10, IU at 11. So
Who's 12?
didn't I say 12?
You said 11.
Arizona State. So the matchups are Tennessee and Georgia, ASU and Ohio State, SMU and Notre Dame, IU and Penn State. The winners of those, either Georgia and Tennessee play the Ducks, ASU and Ohio State play Boise State, SMU and Notre Dame would play Texas, IU and Penn State would play Miami if the season ended today.
I mean, the season did kind of end already.
Yeah, so
Thank God.
you're just saying that because of Purdue.
Who wouldn't? You want to sit through a 1-11 season? I've done it twice now.
Nah, my team's good. We don't do that.
Can't relate. We're a basketball school.
Okay. So out of those opening matchups, which one intrigues you the most?
Ohio State and ASU.
Why?
What ASU is doing
I haven't seen much of it.
Of course you haven't. But you had mentioned Notre Dame is like quietly good. Arizona State is sneaky good, and nobody's talking about them. They go into Tucson and beat U of A 49-7. Take care of business against BYU the week before and have that absolute chaos at the end of the game. Take the goalpost down with 1 second left. They're playing for a Big 12 championship in their first year of their conference realignment against Iowa State. Kenny Dillingham, first-year head coach out there, what he's done with the Sun Devils is remarkable. Playing for a Big 12 championship in his first year. Arizona State could be a team not only to watch in the playoffs, but a team to watch next couple years. I mean, especially given with what we saw from Ohio State, now you start asking which Ohio State team shows up come playoff time. And if Arizona State comes into Columbus ready to ball, we could be having some different conversations than what we had 2-3 weeks ago, or really all throughout the season. Arizona State is a sneaky good team, and nobody's really paying much attention to them.
I was looking at the wrong team. I was looking at Arizona. And I'm like, how is a 4-8 team in the playoffs? No, Arizona State's 10-2. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch some tape on ASU, but this year's playoffs is definitely going to be crazy.
And I think Penn State IU would honestly be a good matchup too. They haven't played yet this year. Penn State,
at one point, Penn State, us, and IU were tied for first place.
Yeah. And now Penn State is playing Oregon in the Big Ten Championship. I mean, and that game would be in Happy Valley.
Yep. Penn State would be home against them.
And, I mean, it'd be another chance for IU to prove themselves that they're here. But here's the thing, though.
If they beat Penn State, do they have a chance against Miami?
Well, that would be a semifinal game, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be at either team's stadium.
No, it'd be the one before semi.
I would say Miami.
If
I
IU
like
wins,
I think Miami IU would come down to quarterback play, and I think Cam Ward would do more in the end than Curtis Rourke.
everyone has said this, but it's so true. He's just so nonchalant in that pocket, and that's the dangerous quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, especially the ones that can get out of the pocket and extend plays. Not only extend plays, but be a dual threat with his legs too. And plus, like I was saying, the only real competition you could say IU really had this year was at Ohio State, and they folded. So now you're talking about IU going on the road again to a top 5 team and basically getting another shot at redemption at that. But you're walking into another one of the most hostile environments in college football in Happy Valley. So
Have they done a whiteout yet?
they did, but I think it was for a noon game.
Imagine if they could somehow pull a whiteout against IU to start the playoffs.
I don't think they would.
It'd be interesting to see that crowd, though.
I think Penn State IU would honestly be a really good matchup. I'd be really, really intrigued to watch that. Because IU's offense is no joke, but neither is Penn State's defense.
What about the SEC matchup? Tennessee and Georgia?
Texas and Georgia.
Tennessee and Georgia, like I said earlier.
Could have sworn it was Texas.
Nope, Texas will either play SMU or Notre Dame because they got a bye.
Oh, I thought you were talking SEC championship.
No, playoffs.
That's where I got confused. Okay. Tennessee and Georgia.
They are the 8 and 9 team. And the winner of that plays Oregon.
Take Tennessee.
Think they could come to Eugene and cause some havoc? Was the word I was looking for? Never mind.
I don't know.
I haven't watched much Tennessee this year. I know they can beat Bama.
Took care of Vandy, but had a slow start. Lost to Arkansas.
I feel like if any of these teams come out to a slow start and we're just clicking and we don't also have a slow start, we have a chance to beat almost anyone.
Oh, 100%. But I would say for that,
how mad would you be if somehow IU made it to the Natty against Oregon and we got a Big Ten matchup for the Natty?
Yeah, I'd be the biggest Oregon Ducks fan you ever seen. I swear on my life.
If that happens, I'm buying you a Ducks jersey.
I swear on my life, I will not live in a world where I watch the Indiana Hoosiers compete for a national championship in the sport of American college football. That just will not happen.
What if they were so happened to beat us in the Natty?
I'm deleting all my social media.
Wise move. I probably am too.
I'm deleting every single bit of it.
Start fresh and not pick sports as an interest.
Nope. I won't do that. I won't do that. I will say though, for that Georgia-Tennessee matchup, it would, like the Ohio State one, it would come down to which Georgia team shows up. Are you going to get the Georgia where the outlier with them this year is they've shown they can play consistently good football? Or are you going to get the Georgia that went to 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech at home?
And almost lost to Kentucky. I mean, Georgia really hasn't been that great. They're a 2-loss team.
Carson Beck has not looked promising this year. He's had flashes, but he hasn't put it together consistently. And I think that's where the fall off with Georgia has been.
Backtracking a little bit.
So I think for that reason is why I would take Tennessee over Georgia. Because Tennessee's defense is legit. Tennessee's defense is no joke. And I don't think if Georgia gets in a playoff game with Tennessee, I don't think Georgia would be able to go up and down the field on drives to score with Tennessee. I don't think they'd be able to. So I would probably take Tennessee in that matchup. But I would say it's a close game. I'm not saying Tennessee walks in there and like runs them out the stadium or nothing, or like wins by 2 scores. But I'd pick Tennessee by 4.
I just haven't been sold on Georgia. Like, they've beat the teams they need to, but at least one, that Kentucky game is still going to stick with me. Like, you're supposed to be a top dog in college football.
The Bama one too, but that was a tale of 2 halves. I mean, you go down 28-0 in the first into halftime, but then you come back and tie the game, but you still lose.
I thought they won it.
No, Georgia didn't. Bama did. Bama intercepted Carson Beck in the end zone.
Yes, I was looking at a different game. To backtrack though, I don't know what made me think of it. Did you see where Shedeur Sanders all season has been saying on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, thank you to the Raiders and stuff every time they lose? Yeah, you think he wants to go play in Vegas?
With my boy O'Connell?
Yeah, your boy O'Connell had a chance to beat the Chiefs, and his offensive lineman decided, hey, I'm just going to snap it.
And then the Zebras completely screwed that call.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Let's stay on focus.
I don't know what level demon magic Patrick Mahomes sold his soul for.
Oh, you know. That Diddy.
But anyway, back to rivalry week. There's still a good amount to get into with that. We started getting into Ohio State, Michigan. What happened?
Again, I think Ohio State lost.
Obviously, but here's the thing. Ohio State comes into this game as a 3-touchdown favorite. Michigan comes in with the worst team they've had in decades. Where are you going? All right, I'm solo now. Michigan comes in as three touchdown underdogs. Ohio State coming in with the number 2 team in the country, the best defense in every statistical category. Everything on the line for them. I mean, everything broke Ohio State's way for them to finally break the streak. So the question is, how did it happen? I mean, when you look at it, and they showed it during the broadcast, the winner of the last 12 meetings has won the battle at the line of scrimmage, and they've won the rushing battle. Michigan on Saturday won the rushing battle by over 100 yards. And the way they did it was really on their front four on defense. Oh, welcome back. I'm now explaining how Michigan did win.
Oh, okay, let me hear it.
Did you even watch the game?
No, I think I was asleep.
Shocker. How do you sleep during that game?
Because I was working third at the time, sir. I just started back.
You don't love football enough.
I love not being like a psycho from not getting sleep. So I'm back on first now, though. So
watching that game, Michigan was able to do everything they wanted with Ohio State's offensive line. And Ohio State, once Ohio State started hitting their rhythm and they were able to start getting on the perimeter on their runs, it really opened up the passing game on the scoring drives that they had. They were able to exploit those corners. But credit Chip Kelly, the mastermind he is.
I still hate that guy.
Runs the guard tackle run scheme 14 times for 36 yards and 1 first down. Absolutely killed Ohio State's offense. I mean, Michigan's front four sat on the line of scrimmage all day. Mason Graham, Josiah Stewart, those guys feasted on the line of scrimmage. And we had talked about a couple different times, Ohio State's offensive line has been a real question mark this year, and they just lost their center to that Achilles injury last week in practice. So we knew it was a makeshift offensive line, and Michigan really exploited that to their advantage. Their front four was able to sit on that line of scrimmage and force Ohio State into passing attacks, and Michigan didn't have to stack the box or add any extra defenders to the run game because their front four was handling it. Ohio State could not run between the tackles. They didn't really try to go outside at all. And so Michigan's corners and Michigan's safeties were just able to sit on those receivers on the outside. And then if you watch the game, you really started questioning and started feeling like it was going to happen again when Caleb Downs forced the interception and Ohio State gets the ball back, I believe it's inside the 30, settles for a field goal and they miss it. Granted, it's still a tie game, but that's where Michigan really started feeling like they had control of that game. And the coaches' meetings during the week, they even said, if we get this game to the fourth quarter and it's a one-score game, we feel like we've got them. And what happened?
They got him?
Yes.
Good job, Michigan.
And I think the other part of it that I've seen a lot of speculation with it is a lot of it not trusting Will Howard at quarterback. Nope. Which, I don't know. I understand the argument because I saw a lot of stuff and granted saw a lot of tape of a lot of wrong reads on Saturday and a lot of concepts of the ball, where the ball was going, where the ball should not have been going. And I mean, as coaches, when you call a concept, you know what you're looking for and what it's supposed to be. So when you call a concept and it doesn't go to that side of the field, you start wondering and speculating your quarterback looking at the wrong side of the field and not seeing the field in its entirety. And Will Howard had a good amount of those. And Michigan got them with their closed looks and their open looks when they would stack a single high safety and close the middle of the field, or they would stack two high safeties and open the middle of the field. And those were where both of his interceptions came. And even after Will Howard's second interception, Ohio State only ran 10 plays the rest of the game.
That's not good.
So, in this game, and the winner of this game, they always win by playing it on their terms. And Ohio State came in feeling like they were playing on their terms, and Michigan took it right from them. Michigan played that on their terms because their front four allowed them to completely stifle Ohio State's offense. Because once Ohio State had no running game, Ohio State had no option to go to their receivers because that was their only option.
Michigan had the ball for just over 7 minutes longer than Ohio State.
And you think of the points that Michigan gets. I mean, Ohio State had faith in their defense. The points Michigan gets are off of Will Howard's first interception that puts Michigan inside the 5. They score a touchdown. Their second points was their 53-yard field goal. After a short punt, they get the ball, move 5 yards, and kick a 53-yarder, tie it at 10. So up to that point, Ohio State's defense had given them nothing.
Yeah, Michigan only had 62 passing yards, 172 rushing though.
But that's just the football side of it. The real beef happened after the game.
Yeah, a lot of the real beef came out this weekend.
There were fights all over
the nation.
NC State and UNC, Florida State, Arizona State and U of A. Pretty sure there were more. Texas and Texas A&M, Bama and Auburn.
Yeah.
Rivalry week delivered.
It definitely did, especially after the games.
Now here's the question. Okay, here's the question though. For Ohio State, do you move on from Ryan Day after losing 4 straight to them now? Do you finish out the season with him and continue the playoffs?
I don't think so. Like, yeah, he's got you there, but you guys are what now? 10-2, 10-3.
2.
And honestly, they just haven't been the same team as they were a couple years ago when they were in contention for the Natty. So
it'll be
all the close.
I think there's going to be a lot of pissed off Ohio State fans next year if Ryan Day comes back. I'll say that.
With all the games, like, obviously, I would say it all started about the Oregon game. They lost. Then they had a close game against Nebraska. Had a close game against Penn State.
Okay, you knew that one was going to be a close game, though.
Blew you guys out.
Shocker. Who didn't?
That's true. Indiana State. They beat Northwestern. They got beat by IU.
What?
No, they didn't. Never mind. I misread that. And then they lost to Michigan.
So now that goes 4 years of not competing for a Big Ten title. 4 years of not beating Michigan. But you've made the playoffs, what, all 4 years? Except maybe not. No, they didn't last year.
They've made it however many times they did, but knowing the heart of the university, the students, the fans, they're not satisfied with not winning the Big Ten or
No, you go to
winning
Ohio
a championship
State.
in the playoffs.
You go to Ohio State to beat Michigan. That's their soul.
And the goal to win a natty, and they are a 2 team that hung on by a thread. If they would have lost one more game or something, they may have not been in the playoffs. Like if IU could have pulled that upset off,
yeah,
they may not be in the playoffs, which you could argue that about a couple teams. Like Georgia, they're a 2-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
They just barely pulled it out in an 8 overtime game like we talked about earlier against Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah.
We did have a upset. South Carolina beat Clemson.
Yeah, was kind of shocked about that one. Clemson's still going to the ACC championship though. And now conference championship is set. I mean, you got the Big 12, you got Arizona State and Iowa State. SEC is you got Georgia and Texas in a rematch from the regular season. The Big 10, you got Oregon and Penn State. They haven't played yet this year. In the ACC, SMU and Clemson are going head-to-head. Clemson's making it because Syracuse beat Miami. What a wild day of college football.
Yeah. So this is all of the conference championship games. Western Kentucky goes on to Jacksonville State for the CUSA championship. UNLV plays Boise State for the Mountain West. Tulane goes and plays at Army or wherever they hold their championship game for the AAC championship Friday. Saturday, Iowa State plays Arizona State for the Big 10 championship.
Big 12.
Yeah, Big 12. That really looks like a 0. Ohio plays Miami of Ohio for the MAC. Yeah, Ohio plays Miami of Ohio for the MAC. Georgia plays Texas for the SEC. Marshall plays Louisiana for Sun Belt. Penn State plays Oregon for the Big 10. Clemson plays SMU for the ACC. And that is it.
Any of those games or matchups that intrigue you for championship weekend?
Obviously, the Penn State Oregon. May try to check out the Arizona State game. Definitely want to try and check out Genty and Boise State Broncos. Other than that, no. We've already seen the Georgia Texas, right?
Yeah, we saw
Texas
that.
won.
No, Georgia won that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It was like 31 to 15.
Yep. It came back to me. So yeah. What about you? Any of them intrigue you or?
Arizona State and Iowa State. I think the Big 12 championship is always a great matchup or a great showdown every year. There's been a lot of really good ones. The biggest one that comes to my mind is Oklahoma State and Baylor a couple years ago on the goal line stand on 4th and goal. I'm absolutely looking forward. I mean, especially for me, having to used to live in Arizona for 7 years, followed Arizona State football pretty closely.
So you're saying you were more of an ASU team than UA?
Oh yeah. I'm happy, especially the years that I lived there. They weren't that good, so now to see them like really succeeding and having success, especially in a new conference, I'm high on them. I really want to see them do well, so I'm excited to see them play for a title.
Yeah. So. I think that really covers college.
Think so.
Well, at least last week and this upcoming week, since it's.
Which, I mean, we'll be back here on Thursday, so we got Thursday to get more into this week.
Yeah, because with it being conference championship weekend, we definitely need to get some more details on these teams and have a whole slate.
Because now this is meaningful football.
Yeah. Not saying it wasn't meaningful before, but it wasn't. So, yeah.
It means something up to this point to determine who got here.
So, yeah, that's college football. Let's go over to the NFL.
Had a pretty eventful week this past week in the league.
Yeah, I would also say that.
AR 2-0 in his return since being benched. Granted, both have been come from behind 1-point wins, and they've both been on the road. But
I'm just not sold on him.
I think he's looked a lot better than he did before he got benched.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's helped when a lot of his incompletions are drops from his receivers.
That is also true. You won't get any argument from me on that.
Because there's at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 throws yesterday that if his receivers catch, it's not a close game.
That's the wisha, coulda, woulda of football. So I don't know. I'm not sold on that team.
Well, them beating New England was significant because it keeps them in the hunt for the AFC South, though.
It does.
And I think they're 2 games back from Houston.
Give me one moment and I can find out. Yeah, because Houston is 8-5 and Colts are 6-7.
Yeah. So I mean, they're still in the hunt for it, and they're right there. And yesterday's win does keep their season alive for the playoffs, which is massive.
It does, but even if they do make it, I don't see them lasting long. So
probably not. But
this may be a year where we get 3 teams out of the AFC West, though. Because you got the Chiefs, who've already clinched a playoff spot. The Chargers are 8-4. They are currently playing. Nope, they are not playing. Never mind. The Broncos are 7-5, who are currently playing the 3-8 Browns and are leading them 21-10 with 35 seconds left in the first half. It looks like the Browns were moving downfield. I think it's 2nd and 10.
From the 22?
Yes, from Denver's 22. So they are almost in the red zone. They are now in the red zone about, 3rd and 4, 5? Yeah, we know it's 3rd down. Come on, show us the downage. Speaking
Speaking of of the league. I know you were pretty happy with your Eagles taking down Baltimore yesterday.
Oh, yes. I'm not going to lie. I was scared as hell in the first half.
Cooper DeJean's little form tackle on Derrick Henry.
I watched the interview post-game when he was in the locker room, and he was like, yeah, I wasn't expecting him to throw him down like that. I definitely felt it, though, a little bit. But he is a big guy. But I just had a lot of adrenaline. And
when you're running full speed at somebody.
Well, white boy can hit. White boy is strong.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when the Eagles obviously get a win.
Saquon had a productive day, too.
I've been telling everybody this since we signed him. I am so thankful for the Giants being so dumb and just letting him walk away.
Browns inside the 4 now.
He had another game over 100 yards rushing. 23 carries, 107, and 1 touchdown. He's a great addition to that offense. Because like I was saying, you can slow down A.J. Brown. You can't completely stop A.J. Brown.
Same with Devontae Smith.
He's too big. He's too fast. Devontae Smith. He's skinny. He's quick. He's a good route runner. He's precise. He's
got some of the best hands I've seen.
He can definitely catch balls on the sideline too and keep both feet inbounds.
Mm-hmm.
Stop them, or at least slow them down. Then you got to deal with Dallas Goedert. If you somehow stop or slow him down, we could just do the options or RPOs like we did against Baltimore yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And you either got to pick or choose. You going after Jalen or you going after Saquon? And the other person's probably going to have the ball.
Yep.
Like, our offense, we don't score as many points as the Lions have been, averaging almost like 30-some, 40-some points a game. But if our offense is clicking, we can score some points.
Oh, definitely. I mean, week in and week out, you guys look more and more like legit Super Bowl contenders.
Especially in the second half of games.
Touchdown Cleveland.
Yep, with 13 seconds left. David Njoku, I think that's his second touchdown tonight. But, I mean, just listen to the stat line, all right? The Eagles, are you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, he didn't do so great passing. He went 11 for 19, only 118 yards and a touchdown. That's good, not great. I would definitely like to see more yards out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another touchdown, whatever. Then we get to rushing. Saquon, 23 carries, 107 yards, average 4.7, a touchdown. Good. Jalen Hurts, 9 rushes for 29 yards, averaging 3.2, 1 touchdown. Keep in mind, I do think he was sacked a couple times, and I do think it is BS that they take away rushing yards for sacks, but it is what it is. A.J. Brown, 5 receptions, 66 yards, averaging 13.2. Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions, 35 yards, averaging 11.7 with a touchdown. Saquon, 2 catches, 10 yards, averaging 5 yards. Dotson, 1 catch, 7 yards. So everyone eats almost in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Gainwell didn't get any touches. yesterday, but he's been electric on some runs when he gets the chance.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Saquon are a good 1-2 punch. They're both quick, but they both also have different play styles and specialties.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, the receiving, you got now a 3, maybe 4-headed monster receiving wise.
Yep.
Devontae Smith didn't even play last night, yesterday, whatever you want to call it. So imagine if he played.
Yeah, no kidding.
I am very excited to see how we do with the rest of the schedule, because 4 out of the last 5 games, I think, are at home. Yeah. So this upcoming week, we host Carolina Panthers. Then we host the Steelers. Then we go to Washington. Then we host the Cowgirls. And then we host the Giants.
Yup.
So next 4 out of 5 games are at home, and they're all very winnable. Couple games that could scare me, depending on what Steelers team shows up. That could be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
In-state rival. They're just a couple hours away from us in PA, so. And then Commanders, yeah, they haven't been looking that great past couple weeks. We beat them before. And if you can slow Jaden Daniels down, you got a chance to beat that offense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what is this? 5 hours ago, Sports Illustrated, Commanders $3.25 million linebacker predicted to leave Washington for Eagles in 2025. Ooh, who is this? Who is this?
Well, did you moving on from the Eagles? Did you also see Christian McCaffrey go down last night?
Yep.
His Achilles popped.
I'm seeing it was a PCL.
You watched that play in slow motion.
Oh, I know.
His calf.
I know.
Pops.
You see the calf pop, but everything I've been seeing, been getting notification about, says it's a knee PCL. Either way,
I've seen stuff that was Achilles.
everything I have seen has been saying knee. Besides the video of you slowing it down, you can definitely look at his calf, and his calf goes from where it should be up to behind his knee.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate events for Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't get to play much this season.
Likely done for the season now.
Yeah, he's most likely done. I highly doubt they'll bring him back, because it's not like they have a great chance of making the playoffs anyways. So
No.
take this year, regroup. You'll probably lose some key pieces, but it'll be what it is. That is crazy. At halftime, Jameis Winston already has 31 passing attempts.
245 yards.
And 2 touchdowns, interception. Bo Nix is 50%, 9 of 18. Winston has almost double the amount of attempts as Nix, and has double the amount of completions. But their completion and attempts are the same number. That is crazy. This article says Dante Fowler Jr. is that linebacker that may be leaving the Commanders and coming to Philly. So, which honestly wouldn't be bad, because he is a defensive end. Brandon Graham tore his tricep the other week, So he's most likely done for this season.
Mm-hmm.
He said this was his last season. If you listen to the New Heights podcast, you heard Jason Kelce say that he knows BG will be there, talking with the Young Bucks, getting them right every week still.
Oh, yeah.
But even Jason Kelce wants BG to come back for another year because he was playing at a high level still.
Mm-hmm.
And just a freak of an accident, his elbow, I think, hit a helmet, tore his bicep.
Yep.
Like, get healed up, brother. There's always going to be a spot for you on this line.
Oh, definitely.
On this roster. Like, you are one of the few people that we would absolutely fight for these past couple years. Him, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelce, like, you're getting your money from us no matter how much you want. Play another year after this season comes to a conclusion. If you don't play great, it's your last season. But if you can produce like you were this year, again, maybe better, then go out on that high note. Try to win one more Super Bowl and go out.
Speaking of Super Bowls, I think that brings us into the playoff picture too.
It does.
Which I think is also our last topic of the night.
I think so. Wow. I don't think this one's going to be an hour.
Maybe right around.
Maybe.
Well, we're meeting twice this week, so.
Yeah. The Chiefs and Bills have clinched a playoff spot in the AFC. This also said it was like from 5 hours ago or something. Let me see. Entering week 14. So, yeah. Kansas City and Buffalo are the only teams that have clinched a playoff spot.
Which is wild considering the Lions haven't clinched one.
I mean, they do have Minnesota right behind them at 10-2. To round out the AFC, though, what is it, top 8? Is it 8 for NFL?
Yeah, it should be.
I want to say it is.
It is.
Let's see if I can just pull a picture up because it's taking me off. Alright, so Chiefs are 1, Bills are 2, Steelers would be the winner of the AFC North and be at 3rd. Titans sneaking in at 4th. That can't be right. No,
there's no way that's right.
What in the heck? Alright, so right now, first round bye goes to the Chiefs. the Broncos would be playing the Bills if it ended and they were not playing this game with Cleveland right now. The Ravens would be going to Pittsburgh, so they'd be meeting up for a third time. And then the Chargers would go to Houston. In the NFC, they would give the first round bye to the Lions, and then we would have the Commanders come to Philly one more time. The Packers go to Seattle one more time. No, not one more time, but Packers in Seattle. And then the Vikings would go to Atlanta if the season were to end right now. Which, me personally, I would much rather see Tampa Bay instead of Atlanta, but they are even, and I'm pretty sure Atlanta has the tiebreaker. Tampa Bay plays not the Vikings. Atlanta plays the Vikings. Tampa Bay plays the Raiders this week. Green Bay could get knocked down because they play the Lions. So I was given the rundown of the NFC. Lions would get the bye. Commanders would come to the Eagles. Packers would go Seattle. Vikings would go to Atlanta.
Makes sense.
Me personally, I hope Atlanta loses and Tampa wins. I would much rather see Baker and Tampa in the playoffs getting a home game instead of Atlanta, because I just don't think Atlanta's good. Vikings could possibly host a home game. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. The Lions would have to lose a couple games, and if they play each other, I'm pretty sure Minnesota would have to win. So yeah. Do you need me to give you a rundown of the picture again, and you give me your favorites or upsets or anything?
My favorite's Detroit. I'm rocking with them for the postseason this year.
Alright, I see we're rivals once again.
It's time for them to experience.
If you had to pick a team in the AFC, who are you picking?
AFC, probably Buffalo.
Okay.
I think Josh Allen's due for a postseason run.
As long as he can finish it off, yeah. I want to say I had something else. Hold on.
I was gonna say, you got anything else, or does that wrap up tonight?
Trevor Lawrence left the game with a concussion.
Yeah, we saw that.
The screenshot I took was about Christian McCaffrey will be placed on injured reserve with a PCL injury. Coach Kyle Shanahan said CMC is expected to miss at least 6 weeks.
Yeah, he'll be done for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so I don't think I have anything else. Like we said, we'll be back Thursday. So
recap a lot more championship Saturday for conferences.
We'll preview more. We'll preview the next week
of the NFL.
Yep. So last game of the week though is currently on. Broncos are up 21-17.
Right out of half too.
4:56 left.
14. That was the first play out of the second out of halftime. It's time for you to go to bed.
It is. Today was my first day back on first shift, so.
All right, sign off. It's time for you to go.
Hey, it's usually you that we're saying this about. All right.
I know.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I know. Now the roles are flipped.
Win a football game. Oh wait, you can't. Your season's over.
It's basketball season.
How y'all doing?
Top 10 in the country. 6-1.
Top 10, not top 5.
Most consecutive weeks of any team in the country ranked in the top 15.
Ooh. Yeah, you guys will lose again. But
stay praying on our downfall.
Not really. I just like to give you shit, but I think that's really it for tonight. So we'll do more previews on Thursday for this upcoming weekend. It's definitely going to be a busy weekend, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys Thursday. Have a good one.
See ya.